agenda.
I did not bring one, and this is the one that Jay left. Okay, so I think it's.
Was there one on the table? It's okay.
So I think
We good to start? Jay? You gotta get organized.
can you leave the minutes later in the meeting
Okay.
and start with
Correspondence?
okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 1st Town of Ancrum Planning Board meeting. Jay, just call the roll first.
Barbara,
No,
Aaron Robertson,
Here.
Joe Caraco,
present.
Ann Rader.
Here.
Palmer Urban,
Here.
Philip Hack,
He
Here,
was.
Here. I'm on Zoom.
We hear you.
All right.
Pauline Lutz,
Here.
Tom Brundoller. On Zoom. Tom Brundoller. No, it's not on Zoom.
Okay, so we have a quorum. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 members, so we're short one. All right, Jay, we're gonna move the minutes to the end of the meeting, for now. Any correspondence that we should?
Okay, so thank you all for attending the training. I also have been in contact with the town engineer, the town planner. The town planner provided a memo for one of the agenda items, which was distributed to you all this morning. And also, after having conversations with the engineer, planner, chair of the ZRC and zoning enforcement officer, it was determined that a short-term rental is in fact a change of use, which does trigger the need to comply with current septic requirements. So I believe that the zoning enforcement officer will be in contact or has already been in contact with 2 applicants that were referred to the planning board. I'm not sure if they will revise their letter or employ a new engineer, or then in the case of one of the two applicants, maybe install a whole septic. I will keep you apprised of the situation as I know more.
Could I ask a quick question? Does that apply to a long-term rental as well, or just the short-term?
No, that was specifically for a short-term
Okay.
rental, that determination was made. So basically, if a property is being rented on a month or 6 month or yearly basis, and then becomes a short-term rental, that would constitute a change in use. And if it is previously a single-family residential, and an applicant proposes a short-term rental, that would also be a change in use. So that change in use triggers additional review. And I think that answers some questions that the planning board had at the previous meeting.
And neither of those applications are on the agenda or were on the agenda, so,
Are not on the agenda for tonight.
okay, sorry. Okay, anything else?
That's all.
Okay, going on, old business. Green Hill Farms, pre-application conference subdivision. Please step forward.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
In video with the county engineering. Here for site plan review. At the last meeting, or items to be requested to be added to the plans. Driveway profiles being one of them. Septic systems, which we did complete the last meeting in this, we had met with the county health department to conduct a beach test investigation, so we have all the data that we would need from the septic systems, so they've been sized and shown. The steep condition. Condition, 3 lots, driveways for each, utilizing the existing driveway for the existing residents that would be demolished. The new resident, and then 2 additional, we've also received the driveway permits from the county DPW for the location.
Have you changed those locations since?
Nope.
Okay,
What did change?
I'm sorry.
What did change?
Nothing's changed as far as the layout. With the exception of providing the septic system locations and the
Some of the grading? You said?
no grading hasn't changed. Septic system location, we provided road driveway profiles to show the fact that we meet the fire code and the town zoning as far as 10% maximum with short segments of 12%. 200-foot maximum on the driveway grade. The erosion sediment control plan, we had that previously. That shows, silt fence details, soil stockpile and so on. And then the survey itself. Russell, showing the lots, the acreage. Discussion in the last meeting, we had discussed adding the larger 4th parcel to it. I confirmed Dan, it's standard practice with the county register of deeds. They don't require that if you've got 500 acres that you're not actually doing anything with, that be part of the subdivision. Plat, he showed an overall just to show what's not.
yeah, we just want to see the whole parcel.
And then there was another question about whether or not this would constitute a major or a minor because of the Melberger property to the south, that there was a 3-lot subdivision in 2021. That was subdivided, and we provided the board with the title report that was subdivided back in '98.
Does that answer the question that it's not a major subdivision? Are we
Um,
satisfied with that?
I would say it does answer the question. The board could refer it to a consultant if they so desire. I did review the subdivision regs, and I had maybe misspoken or was unclear. The planning board has 62 days to make the determination about whether it's a major, minor, or boundary line adjustment after a complete application has been received. So we're still at sketch plan approval. The planning board can probably say, okay, this is a 4-lot subdivision based on the fact that we already have the correspondence from John Lyons, Nan, and Hugh that the boundary line adjustments, although they are technically a subdivision, don't count as the creation of a new lot. And the cumulative minor to major hinges on creation of lots, not on or processes.
Do you have anything from the health department that says that they witnessed the tests and they designed the system, or you designing the system?
We're designing systems. So we were there, I mean, we provided the emails that prove it, but yeah, we were there with the Department of Health to dig deep tests and do for. Yeah,
Okay.
because otherwise we,
So you'll have to submit the design to the health department for their
when
approval.
the time comes for actually developing the last shift.
I think we require that prior to approval.
That would be something that the planning board should. So that they have the full
All right.
picture.
Well, we're gonna send it.
Part of the full application.
Well, you've done in the past, and I don't know if this is in your zoning or not, whether or not your zoning requires that you have a full complete technical design, because, as we all know, we propose something and it happens often where you show a driveway location, you show a house location, the lot gets sold, the new owner has a new idea about where they want to put it. So it's subject to change. So in lieu of doing a full design, we can oftentimes get a letter from the county health department saying, yes, I've witnessed the deep test. A system can go here. It will consist of X, Y, Z, a 4-foot fill system, a 2-foot fill system, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think we're
What I
gonna
would
need at least that.
What I would suggest is put your locations of your deep tests on your survey, because we've had issues where they weren't noted on a survey and they had to go back out and do the deep tests again, like say, 5 years down the road, and they go to sell it. And they don't want to go maybe with that plan. If the deep test location can be found on there, then they don't have to redo it.
And we'll locate those. So we actually have a total station that we shot them in with, that we use Dan's survey to shoot in with. So we'll add them to in lieu of having Dan's crew have to go back out. We already have those located. We'll add them to the site plan. So it'll be-
Yeah,
it's
whatever
documented
works,
as part of
yeah.
this. Yeah. We can do that.
Anything else? Any other questions?
Well, I mean, as far as like moving forward, some of the next stuff is I would recommend that we, send this to George and to Nan
Mhm.
for their reviews.
Okay, well, we gotta set up escrow accounts and get checks and forward. But these are your latest drawings. You have not, well, you should put the pits on before we send
Sure,
them.
yeah. We can update.
Okay,
We can get those in.
I would also suggest that we do like a site visit.
Yes, that's.
Yes.
That would be very
Sure.
helpful.
And this is all. We're still in a position to be able to accept the application, is complete, and move on.
Well, no, it's not complete. This tonight would be sketch plan approval.
Oh, I'm sorry, but meaning accept sketch plan approval and then move to complete application.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
So,
So, yeah, that with those reviews.
okay, so what's the pleasure of the board? Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to have both Nan and George review the plan.
Okay. And second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there a plan for the
Aye.
We just talked
We're
about
working
that.
on
We're
that.
gonna do that.
And as far as sketch plan approval,
So,
Can I, on the motion, Do you want me to collect an escrow for Nan and George's review, or do you want me to just refer the application?
No, collect the extra. This is a big enough job. This is not gonna be a,
So that's George and who's the other person?
Nan Stolzenberg.
She's a planner.
And then what is the amount for the escrow that you think?
1,000 each at least, I would think,
1,000.
So
2,000.
I was gonna say 2,000.
you want to repeat your motion?
Oh, which specific
Yes.
number?
With the changes,
Can I make an amendment to that?
Make your amendment.
yes,
Yes, I do. Okay. I make a motion to have Nan and George review this and collect escrow for $2,000, $1,000 for each consultant.
Second.
Second.
Vote.
Second,
Aye.
aye.
Aye. Right now on the sketch plan, are we comfortable?
So. I guess so. Anything else later? I mean, just for sketch plan approval is all we need, and then,
All we're saying
all
is
the-
we have no problem with the 3 lots and going forward, you know,
yes.
they're gonna have to provide the additional details or whatever other consultants come up with.
Make a motion for sketch plan approval.
Second,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so you have sketch plan approval. Be in touch with Jay to set up the escrows and,
And if I visit, can we coordinate that?
yeah,
Well,
Hey,
Yeah.
don't we want, Joe,
Or
don't we want to put the pits on there for the sketch plan? That you mentioned, the septic pits, don't we want to put that on there for the sketch plan?
yes,
approval?
yes,
we'll update the plans and because it's sketch plan, it's not really necessarily a revision as of yet, but for the complete application that we submit, we'll update it with the septic. Post and deed, we'll reach out to the county, get a letter, if they want something to go there and then have that on.
okay, as far,
We have the application checked for the fees, but I mean, that can just come in, you have a complete application after we do all of it.
as far as the site visit, do we need to be accompanied? Can we go there at any time?
I'd like to, because I think we could. Identify where the driveway cuts are, where the house locations are, and just be easier, I think. for you.
Yeah, that would be best.
So
Yeah,
can you
we-
coordinate?
You can be there.
You know, it's good to have someone there.
So if you can give Jay a couple of dates and then we can,
I mean. It's gonna be harder for you guys to wrangle all together, whoever wants to go, so if you guys coordinate dates and let us know, we'll make sure we have some.
okay, because we can't all be there at the same time.
Right.
Okay, so, what we've done in the past, to avoid having to notice a meeting is like a 10 a.m. visit and then like a 4 p.m. visit.
Yeah, or 10 or 11, drive back there. But yeah, that works for me.
I'll keep that.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's best if we can do it in the next 2 weeks, I guess.
Thank you all very much.
All right, thank you. See you the next time. All right, old business, second application, Morel.
Without telling. You know, this goes actually well.
So you got new.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you just identify yourself?
Certainly, my name is Brian Watts, I'm with Crawford and Associates Engineering. So,
Just for the record, we had a meeting, an informal meeting a couple weeks ago. Jay and I met with the engineer
sure,
to discuss some things, so just so everybody's up to speed.
and a number of those comments were just some clarifications on the maps and what we've shown and how we've laid things out. As you can see on some of the drawings on the cover sheet here, we provided the actual linear foot of setbacks, each property corner boundary. We show a table here showing we call bulk regulations generally, but how, how we're fitting into the site. Generally, we're exceeding, I think the shortest dimension is 580 feet from a property boundary. So we're more than far enough away from those things. We've shown some turning radii. I know that was a comment from the last meeting. We added a few utility poles and then the estimated underground electric line, because that's where we think the best location for it to go is. We're still coordinating with the utility company on that, but we're showing everything there. We also show a septic system, a septic field. We've reached out to the county probably 3 or 4 times. I have email correspondence, but we haven't gotten Mike out there yet. We submitted the application. He told us 2 weeks. It's been 4, so I haven't gotten out there yet. But what we did show is we showed a 4-foot raised bed system in size, which would be the largest system you're going to put on the property, based off the bedroom count and things like that. So as long as everything works out deep test wise, that would be the largest system you'd need. If anything else, it'd be less. So if we had better soils and we could do a 3-foot raised system, it would be smaller in size, but we showed the largest size for that. The next sheet. Of course, we understand that that's something we'll need to get for the town before any building permits can be applied for or anything like that. But progressing the application is what we did here. We showed a septic tank as well. I think that was not. We also had a wetland biologist, Mike Nowicki, go out and locate and delineate the wetlands. So they have changed. This wetland line on our prior application was somewhere up in the slope line. And from when Mike went out there, he identified it lower down here, now down lower on the slope. And the one to the south of the driveway pretty much remained the same based on his markings. We did receive a comment letter this morning from the consultant. I don't know if the board had a chance to read through it or discuss any of those comments tonight. I'm just trying to dot all the i's here.
Did she review your new plan or the older plan?
My understanding would be the current application that we submitted for this meeting. And
No, not your updated plan.
it would be the updated, it'd be
The update.
She did.
Yeah, we waited for the updated to send
Oh, I-
it to her.
I didn't submit it, so I guess that's something the town has.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be my understanding as well.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to review her comments because of when they came in. Did she not mention which plan she reviewed?
Doesn't say a date on it. Typically, most times you get like a review date on something.
And then list the drawing numbers too.
Yeah, okay, that's,
So
If she could just make sure that she looked at the right drawings, and she could just document that for us.
Certainly,
so the wetlands boundary here.
Yep.
You're showing 100 feet. It
Yep.
should be 150 feet.
so understood, the 100-foot line that we show is, again, this is a nearest state DEC wetland.
Okay.
So we show the DEC's 100-foot adjacent area is what that is.
Yeah.
Our septic system's over 200 feet. We have no problem if the board wants to draw or to, draw a second line in here at 150 feet just to show that. We have no issue with that. I mean, that's simple to do. As a
What do
line.
you have on the
I
plan?
would have it on the plan because if you do some sort of accessory building or something like that in the future, then
Sure.
at least it's on the plan and then where you can, where you should put it or something.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. Like I said, I did read through most of these comments and I did check some of those. Yeah, I think we're 200 and something to the corner here, so we rotated to be less, but
Yeah, it looks like you're well out.
no, we are, so.
What about that transformer?
You have the area of disturbance.
Yes, it's on the road. It really hasn't changed. We're still around 3.8
So
acres.
this is what we want.
I guess,
Okay,
yeah.
So then, if this is 3.818 acres, then it's gonna be the basic width. And that means that we would do seeker.
Right, which we just learned minutes ago.
Correct. That's one of the things that the chair and I spoke about is for us to submit for an NOI,
Yeah.
technically seeker needs to be completed before we can do that. So we didn't ignore that comment from the last meeting, but we're ready. We have a draft NOI ready, just we can't submit that until.
So
Sorry,
I had a conversation following the training. Nan's memo does, I believe, recommend that it be sent to George for review. So what I would recommend the planning board do is ask the applicant for the draft NOI and make a determination whether they want to refer the matter to George. If they do want to refer the matter to George, collect an escrow for that review. Wait until this draft NOI comes in, and then it'll be referred to George for his review. And then at the next meeting, hopefully his comments will come back. And his comments and Nan's memo could be used to inform the secret determination in terms of an.
Well, I guess taking a step back,
You need to do this.
this would be a
first.
type 2 action under seeker.
Yeah,
So all that would really need to be take place is the board would have to declare themselves lead agency
So.
and then say it's a type 2 action, just confirm. that.
So that's where I think the uncertainty lies. And if you do want me to refer it to the attorney, I can. In requiring the secret, it may not still be a type 2 action. And that's
I would change
that's what
I guess that's
George was stating.
so I guess what a question of the board would be, we have no problem we work with George a lot, we have a great working relationship. I have no problem, George, looking at something like this. I don't really see anything changing. Would the board be accept or agreeable to allowing us to make the submission to George, outside of a meeting, get it to him? If he has comments, we can address them amongst professionals. I can't see there gonna be anything changing on the site plan. Because it's a typical erosion and sediment control plan. I don't see any, barring comments from George or George's satisfaction on any of the comments. I just need to come back here to get a letter from George saying we have no issues.
yeah, I think that should go through us, though. I think
Yeah, I think it does.
it should go through us.
The other thing that Nan says about asking George is to seek his opinion on any long-term methods needed to control runoff and erosion. Since this is a temporary erosion plan.
Correct, we're not, New York State DEC doesn't require permanent control because we're under 5 acres. Yeah, a residential project under 5 acres isn't required to have permanent controls. Commercial projects over an acre require commercial.
Unless the board requests it.
And again, I don't know, that's in their zoning code as an item to say you need to provide those things.
I'm just going by what's.
Yeah,
recommended
she
by a
has
consultant.
also asked, recommended that we have somebody engineering wise check the turning radiuses. Do you have a grading plan? I'm just trying
We don't have any grading shown.
to,
Nope.
no, okay, that's
I mean,
right.
the driveways, we're pretty much gonna reutilize existing grade for the driveway. We're under the 8% for the majority of the site. And after speaking with the owner, the only adjustment that they've discussed based on the site walk they did was we're gonna try to cut this driveway to follow more of this contour here.
Yeah,
Come to the bottom.
absolutely.
Other-
Why make it so tight? That could be a lot softer.
Yep, no, absolutely. It was the original idea was to maximize the field as much as possible. Again, to try to minimize that, we have no problem doing that. I think the other comment was to shift the driveway slightly to make
Yeah,
sure.
this is even more than a 90-degree turn, so it's a little tough.
Again, we showed the radii make it with a.
Yeah. No, I get it. It just seems to be cumbersome when it could be a lot softer.
Certainly.
And
Again,
please give us some spot grades on the building
like
finish.
finished floor grade.
Yeah.
Sure.
Something, so we have something to identify
Sure.
on the turnaround and the radius on the turnaround. I no information on it, is there? When you show the car, trucks, whatever, I don't know what size truck you use.
It's an SUV, it's listed in the notes on that. It's an SUV. Yep, which is a single unit 40-foot tractor trailer, or sorry, trucking trailer.
So one of the other things we just learned that you said that the wetlands were delineated, so there flags or signs delineating them, there's flags that say this is a wetland, do not cross this line.
No, there's not.
Usually a little colored
There's
flag.
a red, I think I believe they're red, I was out there, I believe they're red flags. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I have a question about on the plan. I don't know if you might need to come over here. These little symbols here.
Mhm.
So they're kind of like these, but faded. What is this?
So that is that would be the buffer area between two wetlands. So
Oh, so the darker one.
the darker one is the wetland, the lighter one would be your
Oh,
buffer
okay.
area.
Tricky.
And the wetlands overlap and they don't overlap in some areas, so that's why you see them, it's just a hatch we use.
Okay, so where I drew this line, that was the correct line here.
Yep, that is the state wetland line, and then there's another boundary here, which we included based off a couple of flags from Mr. Nowicki. So I'm not,
Oh, so you're just staying out of
Yeah.
that and then measuring
Yeah.
off of that.
the
Right.
worst case is what we used. His flags didn't tie back in, they kind of stopped,
I
but
see.
I didn't want to assume it went somewhere, so we
Thank
left it
you.
like that. Yep.
Were there any steep slopes in the area of development? That was one.
No, I think looking at that map, we're nowhere near any of the steep slopes as defined by that map. I know one of the other comments was regarding the significant habitat.
Yeah.
And I think looking at people on the team, the only area that was in there would be to the north of our property and then to the western edge of our property. If you were nowhere near that area for disturbances or anything, if you wanted to show a boundary on something, we could, if that's something the board really wants to see. But again, we're not in any of that area. I think the area that we're disturbing is Upland Meadow. It's Upland Meadow, so.
I'm not sure she's right about the turnoff being 15 by 50. I thought it was 12 by 50. And do you have an extra wide driveway or is it a 12-foot
We
driveway?
have a 15-foot driveway, so we designed the linear park, which requires 20 by 50. Their turnouts be 20 by 50,
For the turnout.
yes, so that would be a 20-foot section for 50 feet. Our turnouts do meet that 20 by 15, or 20 by 50, excuse me. So the 15 by 20, we exceed that, or 15 by 50.
50 by 50, yes.
we
15
exceed
by
that.
50. So you have a little extra wide
Yep.
roadway. That's what I thought I saw. So, okay. You can clarify that for
Sure.
her. on that.
I don't know if there's any other, I think there was a few questions about some of the endangered or threatened species. We're not really proposing any clearing or anything like that, so there wouldn't be tree clearing of any nature that would impact the bats. If there is a note, we can put a note on the plan for, you can only cut trees down from X to Y. I'm not sure if it's on the road, so the control plan, we've done that before plenty of times. Don't think there was really any other, the fog turtle habitat, I mean. We're cutting across the farm field that's existing. I don't really know of any design changes that would come from that. Our driveway's gonna be at grade pretty much, so what's there now is.
What's the material of the driveway?
I'm sorry,
The material of
it's gravel.
What is a laydown area? I'm not familiar with that.
So what we end up showing that for is just generally when they're gonna be bringing in construction materials or equipment and staging it in an area. Sometimes that area gets disturbed because they bring in a forklift or something to lift up something and you disturb the ground. So we just include lay down areas, which is an area for them to stockpile. Not really stone or gravel or aggregates, but just equipment or materials that are for the build.
That concrete washout area. Very good.
Back to the animals and habitats, I would follow Dan's suggestion, and actually allow a heritage request, which is all done online through
The IPAC.
Yeah.
Sure, that's not a problem.
I would do it because that will help us with our speaker review.
I guess if this is not a type 2 action. I guess if we have, is this, I guess, is the board determining this to be a type 2 action, or is it not determined yet?
Do we have to make a determination to do a secret? So
Yeah,
do we have to have somebody have?
but we also have a little time frame between, we haven't even approved the sketch plan on this either.
Well, I guess is that, are we at a point to say we have a complete application?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we don't have, well, I don't know. What are we waiting on? Are we waiting on anything?
We have nothing from the health department. Did you do
Right.
deep test pits?
We haven't done it, we're waiting for them to come out there, what we show us that
Oh,
little
okay.
system that, again, would work in this location,
Okay.
given the general site knowledge.
I think you need
So
a,
you were making a note that something that changed on the plan already. I'm sorry, I didn't make a note of that.
spot elevations for the
Spot
building, or finished floor elevations. Excuse me.
Okay, that was it so far?
And you should have a wheel cleaning pad at the entrance. I mean, this is not existing, right?
Track, we show that actually, so
You call it out up here, but you don't call it out
We're
down
gonna
here.
have-
we can show a second one, we've worked on a lot of construction projects, and the ones that are near the roads end up tracking out road first.
Okay.
That's why we like to keep it near where the area where they're actually working. We can add a second one somewhere else, but
Something, I mean, if this is all gonna be disturbed, the mud's gonna end up out there.
we can add one closer to the drive. I don't like putting them along roadways because they end up, if they ever get.
They
full of
get,
sediment,
they get, filled up and then they don't do anything but spread the mud.
and then it goes right to the road.
Yeah.
So we can show a second one, absolutely,
Yeah.
somewhere in this front. Street.
Yeah, something there.
Certainly.
But did we decide on if we're gonna have George review this?
Yes, well, that was Nan's recommendation. We have Nan's comment, so I think we should send it to George.
I do too. I agree. Yeah, yeah. And number 6.
Do you want to wait on your septic testing before we submit it to him, or just, we can send it over with these if that's,
I'm trying to get Mike out there as soon as possible,
I know.
so as soon as he tells me he can be out there, I got an excavator ready to come out to the site. So I don't wanna wait, I'm afraid.
all right, so should we send it to George now?
Yeah, I don't think George is gonna have any, I guess my understanding is the town wouldn't have much review of the septic system when Mike comes out there. to the
No.
County, and they say,
No.
we want a 4-foot fill system right there, then.
Okay.
We want George to see Nan's report too.
Yes,
So, you want to collect an escrow or just send it? to
no,
George?
collect an escrow $1,000.
So then can I give him,
I make a motion that we collect an escrow for $1,000 for George to review the application as well as Nan's comments. Okay.
Second,
all in favor?
Bye.
aye.
A little slow there, Phil.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah, anything else?
Well, some of the stuff that Nan's asking to make sure that some of these other natural resources are identified and shown on the map. He says it's a red maple tamarack peat swamp.
So looking
I don't know
at
about that.
looking at the actual map that. I guess I didn't assume, but using the map that's on the town's website for the significant habitats map, I wrote a zoomed in section of it for the board. So this would be our parcel in here. And this is the wetland.
Yeah.
Excuse my reach, that would be here. So I'm
The
gonna
house is
somewhere like right in, yeah,
going in that.
Yep.
location, and the driveway is
it's gonna follow up. and-
girding.
Yep.
This, and this.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're in the upland meadows for our actual work. This,
Oh, and so this map shows this is where the talus slope is.
which is off to the western edge of our
Isn't
property.
this the property line?
This,
This is another lot.
Correct.
this one is another lot. This is
Right,
another
what's
lot.
this?
This is an old map, based off what I think happened. This was chopped, I think somewhere like that. Then this is our parcel here.
So this is not a lot line,
No, nope,
and. this
That's
is
not a lot line.
not a
Okay,
lot line.
that's confusing.
I think, and don't quote me on this line here, might be slightly different, but yeah, this is the back edge of our property.
Oh, right here?
I
thought it went all the way down.
oh no, apologize for this.
Yeah, so this is not a lot line either.
Right, I
It goes
think
all the way down
it might actually end here.
and it goes all the way up to,
No, our property ends somewhere
Oh.
up in here.
oh, only here it borders it.
Yeah,
Okay. Anyway,
if you want us to show these on our map, that's not a problem. It's gonna be as best as I can kind of locate them based off the property boundaries that we have. But we're not in any of those areas. Again, where we're showing all of our work is in the upland, it's not the right one, it's upland meadows. So,
well, the idea is to have it all look on this map for any future or
Certainly.
everybody knows what's going
Certainly.
on.
That's fine.
And then she recommends that the CAC review this. Do we have to take a motion on that or?
I think that's standard practice. I don't make a motion for that.
Okay, so we will. The other thing was, lighting, is there a note anywhere on these plans for the house that say about what kind of lighting?
No, but if you'd like a note to say dark sky compliance lighting. No more lighting, dark sky compliance. Sure.
Yeah.
Again, the only lights they're proposing is like a typical porch light or something like that. We're not making light plants or towers or anything like that, so.
Thank you.
And you're low on the property anyway. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna, so that's gonna be helpful too, so.
As an
dark
example,
sky Compliance plus that will be minimally.
this parcel is about 100 feet higher in elevation than where the residence sits.
I
Because
guess,
she was
yeah.
worried
And
about
then
this
again, there's
light.
also a
Yeah.
hill, a ridge here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is about.
George should
less from
deal with that.
Okay. Is this wetland have exposed surface water? Any of these two that are closer to the house?
Off the top of my head, I believe this one is.
Oh, that's a little constructed pond there.
Yeah, I believe so. Off the top of my head, I don't recall this one off the top.
This is the construction pond, right, in here?
You want, I'll throw the.
Yeah, that's a man-made pond.
So, Nan was worried about like fire
Fire.
trucks and having water
I
access.
know,
And
I think it's that pond. Wasn't it sink down in the summer, like, it really dropped,
Yeah.
that they're still like 3 feet maybe,
Oh, that's enough.
less than that.
I don't know if it's probably not.
It doesn't apply.
yeah, they don't really have access to it. Yeah, okay.
They'd
I
have to
think
travel.
someone actually dug that pond in a fence.
Larry's grandfather.
There is no on-site water or anything like that, which is pretty typical for the rural area.
You may want to consider a residential sprinkler system. It's not all that cumbersome. I mean, that sometimes it's an insurance issue.
I know insurance companies do like some of those.
Yeah. It's just a point.
Depends on the well, if the well doesn't supply it, then even hard.
No, they do it with a 300-gallon tank and a
No,
tank of nitrogen. It's not a lot of water.
there's water free out.
It's not like the towering inferno. One head goes off and it.
And given the distance from the fire house and the length of the driveway, I would consider that.
Yeah.
As an issue, as a thought.
I would look into it. It's not as cumbersome.
Right.
Certainly, I'm sure the owner will look at that when they're.
Yeah.
And we do a site visit.
I don't see an issue with that. No, we've laid out, we've laid out a few stakes, but some of them again are gonna shift slightly after again some discussions, but generally the driveway has been staked and then the locations for the house has been staked. There are a lot of stakes out there, so there's been a few different versions. But a good vantage point would be the oak tree. We would like to be present if possible. I know.
We just have to organize that.
Yeah,
Can we drive out there or it has to be walk?
or you can drive it. I apologize. You cannot drive in from here, hasn't been created yet, but the existing driveway you can get access to as long as it's not too wet. See any issues with that? I've driven it a few times when I staked it out, so.
Okay,
You can definitely get stuck with the flat.
Don't go to the wet.
So stay on the road.
been there, done that.
I think it has been mowed, so you can follow the pathway.
It's been very dry, so we do it soon.
So we can get some.
Hopefully, great.
Anything else?
Um,
Any thoughts, concerns?
Ryan, can you get the draft NOI to George, since the planning board does want George to review it? And I will work on clarifying the secret thing as a planning board issue and not as a specific applicant issue.
Certainly. Can I just make, is our application deemed complete at this point by the board, so we can at least look?
No, not until we get stuff back from George, because there might be changes, unless you consider that not being. making it incomplete.
Well, I guess I'm just trying to figure out if we submitted as a complete application at this time. Or not, I guess that's what other things do we need to submit that would make it a complete.
I think this would be appropriate for.
Well, we had
sketch.
those things that, we just had a list of a few things to put on the plan.
Certainly notes and things like that, certainly, again, it's that, my question is that.
So did we do sketch? Oh, so it's a sketch
I
plan.
think it's.
Well, hold on,
appropriate.
this is abbreviated, so
Yeah, it's abbreviated. We don't go.
we don't
through
do
that.
sketch, so I think that's why I'm asking, no, that's a.
But once we vote it as completed, then that's like done.
We gotta make a decision.
We can accept the application, but we don't have to make an approval.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right, because we have to, so then we're not gonna vote on it. We'll say it's, you have everything that we needed, except
Again.
the things that are on the list.
Yeah.
Well, there's no, I'm not gonna make any major changes to the
Right.
application. The driveway's kind of set except softening that. They're not gonna move the buildings. The septic might move around, so all the major components.
Again, going through the checklist of items, I
Yeah.
feel like we've included the major points. The notes and things like that are definitely things we can include, you know, we're just trying to make it.
As long as there's an
That
understanding,
just sets a time limit. Is really all it does, right?
we have 50 days to. What's the pleasure of the board?
Right, so it's gonna come back next month, so we can,
Hopefully we'll come back with George's comments. You
so
get,
then it means that next one, we could vote on it unless there's,
well, you have 2 months, basically. You can ask for an extension.
We
okay,
have to, yeah, and I know JL wants to clarify that seeker thing, how we're gonna handle that.
right, if we have to review them.
So I guess we can make a motion to accept the application itself as complete.
Okay with me?
Pending review and, you know.
Yeah, depending on review by our town engineer.
Mhm.
Is that acceptable?
Me, yes,
Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept that it's a complete application,
Subject to
subject to
George's comments
George's review of the plan
and comments.
and comments.
Thank you. Second,
I have one question, or I guess another question for the board. Would you like CNA to prepare a response to Nan's comments and submit it to the board? Or to her, or to Nan directly?
no to the board.
Okay, so we'll work on that to get back.
Yeah, give us a response item by item. That way we'll know what's being addressed, not addressed, then we can argue with you.
And
Or
there you go.
not, you never know.
I would not argue, I like to
Right.
come to resolutions.
You like the soft touch. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think I did.
So we need to vote.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 You said an escrow?
Yes, yes.
I
we
did,
did
I
that.
made that motion.
Okay. Good. All right. See you next month.
Thank you.
McNally Lerner.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Berman with Berman Horn Studio representing the applicant. In the past month, we are here and we just finally got tonight, the approval from Mike DeRuzio. Okay, well, I can pass around. one.
Wonderful.
So yay, we got him out for our detailed tests and our, perks.
Can I get another copy?
Yes, I'll get it. Here, just spread them around. And then, so we emailed the plans and now here's a hard copy of the plans showing the location of the depots and the perks, So that is, there's no other change, but this is the plan that's my.
When you speak, you can just stand behind the dollar roast here, let's be just one.
Thank you.
You said something? You said something?
No, just asking the things and behind. me.
Oh,
So,
to the locations of the perk test and the depot that were witnessed by Mike last week. That is letter
Okay.
and Dale, this is the plan that you have received in the email from last.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have a SWIP with the first application?
We did, but the size has diminished.
Yeah,
This would be still in effect, we have a note to that, we will take the board's advice as to what to do about that. But we're under an acre, we're at 0.66 right.
yeah, no, I understand that. I'm just trying to. It's an open permit, I
Mhm.
guess, so.
Yeah.
Anybody have any other questions about?
So the SWIP was not, if you didn't, nobody filed for the notice of intent.
I'm sorry?
No one actually filed yet, the notice of intent.
The last time they did.
We did, but now because we.
So you received a permit?
Yes,
And so that was another one where we didn't do a.
Like that.
We didn't do a net deck, and how did they get the, how did you get that permit?
I think it was.
oh no, we didn't.
Just to clarify, sorry, I'm Brad, I'm Marie's partner. We did not get a building permit.
Not a building permit,
What did you mean? Sorry.
The
SWIP.
DEC permit.
It was.
I don't believe so, no, we had the SWIP plan.
You had
Yeah,
it prepared,
we had
but
to-
you did not.
That's
file
exactly
it.
right.
Yeah.
We had to switch
Because you
there.
wouldn't- They wouldn't have been able to. file it.
Yes, we didn't go that far.
Okay, so it's not filed.
Just started to happen.
Okay. Because he was just saying that it could be transferred if it had been,
Right.
Or amended.
Or
It does-
amended.
It does move the area, but
yeah.
I guess the question is if it's substantially,
So if.
the pink is your disturbed area, is that what you're?
Here.
Well, we can't round up, so it's not an acre.
Yeah.
No.
I think a lot of their area of disturbance was on.
Yeah, the whole house is, the whole, yeah, the driveway.
Was a garage.
I mean,
So it's significant.
That's been-
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay, since I'm not a stormwater person, but shouldn't the silt fence be parallel? to
Not
the
coming up the
contour?
hill,
So
yeah.
it shouldn't be like here, it should be that's parallel to the contours.
Mhm.
So because you figure your flow is gonna be that, way, right? Am I
Right.
getting that Right. So they shouldn't be perpendicular to your contour,
Right, that's what,
they should be parallel,
They
but
should be parallel.
they turn the,
but
I mean, it should just extend out
that's what I'm.
further and not show it going up. That,
Yeah.
so the
just
contractor does
come
not install that.
Take this and fan it like
Is
that.
Is this something that we can change on the drawing now by scratching it out or redrawing, just because if that's just one small change, that's. We're just trying to get a permit in terms of starting for the summer, so we're
Yeah.
happy to do whatever the board advises. But if the SWIP is not even in play.
Right.
You know.
but the erosion control.
Erosion control.
Of course, yeah,
Yeah,
and we're absolutely happy to do that.
So based on the email that was provided from Mike initially, and now we do have the letter. I prepared a draft resolution, so the
Mhm.
planning board can review that. And potentially ask as one of the conditions of approval that the actual plans just be modified.
yeah, we could
And
do
then
that.
That's fine.
That would work, and then it would be,
We appreciate that. We can email that back to you right away.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we just don't want them to install it that
Yes.
way.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it, just went a little bit further and stopped is
Sure.
all.
Mhm.
Yeah, you may need another piece uphill a little bit. perpendicular, parallel.
And
sure we have a list of-
if you wanted to mark on it. Drawing, you would-
I think you have more silt fence shown than you really need. That's the,
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that, retaining that, because that's your.
Right.
Have it going there.
Yes.
So we should just remove this little tail and extend it, and
Yeah.
extend that and keep this line.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, got it. Understood.
Because I think if you extend it here,
Mhm.
you'll catch anything that's coming off.
Mhm.
here. And. I think that would-
We're happy to do that, and our plan, once we receive. You know, some sort of additional approval, and we can, you know, that would be submitted to. Ed for permit.
So the other thing that, we need to make a standard is to request that this line that's shown on the paper is shown on site. So that the code enforcement officer can actually see where this edge of disturbance
Mhm.
is supposed to be.
So to flag it out,
Yes,
of course.
so that, you know, because I know these guys park their trucks.
Oh, it's so
and
true,
They're
absolutely.
just rude to sites.
No, we know, we fully understand.
Yeah.
that. So we can add that as a note on the,
Yes,
on the,
please.
permit filing set.
Yes, that you will have that flag on site. Thank you.
We're happy to do that, and actually are happy to. put it- No,
okay, so
Right, because there's
Yeah.
no trees, nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing that, it's
Yeah,
a
I
field.
felt that.
It's nothing field.
you want to go forward with the resolution? Jay, do you want to read it or?
It's long.
Okay.
I read it.
But so
I read it
we
too,
can
so
vote to
What I
accept it.
have as additional conditions are modify the silt fence.
Yes.
And then a. No. Regarding. Flagging. For the
The-
silt fencing.
No,
locations.
for the area of disturbance as per the drawing.
Maybe put up a snow fence or something to keep them,
Mhm.
guys with bulldozers are gonna go
Oh,
wherever.
I know, they're gonna just drive everywhere.
They don't make 90-degree turns, so.
So then. I will add those as conditions. And I get a motion for conditional approval with those added. Joe will review the maps. And then stamp them. When they're
And sign them.
received.
And sorry.
and signed.
Cool, me.
Is it a conditional approval? Yeah, I guess so, with, or we approve, right, we're voting to approve the plan with the conditions.
Yes.
May I ask what other conditions there are besides these, or is this?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think, so you may have, you may
Fulfilled
have
it.
actually fulfilled one of your conditions.
That's what we're trying.
Now therefore be it resolved that the Ancrum Planning Board has granted unanimous conditional approval to the previously cited site plan with the conditions. The applicant shall receive the building permit prior to construction, and the applicant or their agents shall maintain all silt fencing in working condition until completion of construction, and the applicant shall conform with the notes on the approved abbreviated site plan, and the applicant shall provide the official Department of Health certification letter once received, which you have done.
You have to call out like the date or something of the site plan.
That's in one of those, whereas.
Yeah, it's a site plan revised 5/31/23.
It's in the- he said that's-
Yeah, everybody's gotta be, even the health department to refer to drawings, it could get messy down the road. Somebody goes in a file, they go, oh, this looks like the latest.
No. They don't just like disappear on their own like they should when they're obsolete.
All right, can we get a motion?
I will make a motion to grant
Conditional
the
approval.
conditional approval. Adding those two additional points that we're putting. I don't know what's to say. Conditional approval.
Second,
All in favor?
Hi,
You're good,
Thank you.
Thank you all very
Good
much.
evening.
Appreciate your time.
no problem.
Sorry, I couldn't
So,
be eloquent.
Who was the motion?
Oh,
yeah, she motioned, I second.
Good night.
I'm good on that copy and then, at least.
We have one more?
Yeah, that.
Yes, yes, that's them.
Modify.
We're just gonna go send this. to-
Yeah.
I did. Oh, yeah, which one?
Oh, there it is. I was gonna say.
So we'll do that, and then at that point we can.
Sketch plan conference. We did that. Good night.
Okay, Bronx House Emmanuel Camps. Commercial site plan review. Sketch plan conference. Good evening.
And share.
Oh, you're gonna share? That's nice. Thank you.
What's yours?
I didn't get, one.
Oh,
They were-
there's extra.
They're in.
That's all right, we can share.
You can share.
I'm not greedy. Once you got your wires, don't get
Yeah.
yourself all tangled up here. And Would you identify yourself for the board?
Absolutely. My name is Rick Parker. I'm an architect with Trans-Territorial Architects. Traveled here to Cleveland, Ohio for this, and
Really?
Adam Weinstein, the director, I believe is on.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry not to be able to be there. It's actually my daughter's prom today, so I needed to see that happen.
Okay,
So, just so I can get these out of my hand, I do have a copy of the letter signed by Adam. To be here.
yeah, we don't all need one, just give it to.
And then this is for the file. The second one is, we finally got a letter from the health department regarding one of the questions from last meeting.
That's more important.
So, let's start.
Do you have the health department letter? Or you gave?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
distributing. It didn't come in time for the 10th package. So, I'd like to make one point, and there seems to be a little confusion. We had submitted the package, and requested for whatever date, with the intention of this is a actual site plan review, not a sketch plan. We, somewhere there was some confusion, and apparently, I guess it's called a referral from building or something. Didn't happen, I don't know why, the information was received by the department, appropriate information, the checklist. Everything has been submitted except that health department letter. So as far as we're concerned, we have submitted everything unless somebody tells us it didn't happen.
Nice. You submitted the complete application or what you deem was the complete application. 10 days prior to planning board meetings to the zoning enforcement. The zoning enforcement. And make your determination. Regarding the application and a referral, so you had planned. Basically. I guess that he would have a commercial review done on the same day.
No. That information.
And then also, it was stated during the previous meeting that the long form would be provided. It would be required because of- and you provided a short.
So. There we go, page one. Who was just doing that?
Sort
Okay.
Our new type one
This
list.
is Pam, and that was mine for type one, Pam. And that was my question, was, would a, like an entire new camp be a type one, or can this project falls into, so,
issues and clarification on that, or this can be, but the planning board will likely need to see the party that's doing the entire environmental review.
yeah.
And then there's also project.
Um,
We are 0.1 acres of 100 for this project.
six,
6.6.
the area of disturbance for this.
I don't know how many hundreds of acres that is. Pretty much centered in the site. Well, it's kind of an odd shaped site, but centered in the site. There's no visibility of the site from any public access. Just information. There.
You stated that only the people that are at the camp are using this, there's not gonna
Correct.
be
It's not a
any,
public access site.
so even to help to put on productions or things like that, it's all, everybody's in there.
Correct. It's the campers will do whatever they're going to do and prepare for whatever activities are happening in that pavilion. Storytelling, it could be a movie night, it could be. The application that they put together. You know, it's pretty much camp activity. And it's well, if you're familiar with summer camps, I mentioned one. Basically, you sign up for a program and the field that we and that's it. There's a limited number of folks. Whoever uses this are the people that are living there for that period.
And you said they would like walk over or,
Oh, yeah, unless somebody needs assistance for a golf cart or something, basically it's a walking camp. The only vehicles in camp are staff and they're usually parked somewhere remote. Maintenance and service would be golf carts or service access and of course emergency.
Yeah, I'm just happy to chime in if there are any more camp questions, because that's more my area than Rick's area. But it will all be internal.
But, so picking up where, I think where we left off from the last meeting, there were 3 years or, and maybe there's a different record that, but one of them is the fire access, clarified that, we actually researched the fire code and got the dimensions, the slopes meet the radius at the end, the driveway meets the requirements as far as we know. All that is in keeping with the fire code, the distance from the driveway is within less than the maximum for distance to get in the site. Another is how much space, and I mentioned the 0.61 acres. I think I heard the question last time. Marked by certain on it. The health department letter addresses the price driven question. It's not last time. Yeah, it's the site, they use restaurant, restrooms, all things site. And whoever wrote the letter indicated that we have what we need. It also, we verified from a building code standpoint, we are within the distance. There's a 500-foot distance for an assembly kind of facility that we can have restrooms, and we're well within it. So by 2 counts, we're good on the restroom. So there's no water, there's no sewer coming to this site.
So, excuse me,
Sure.
I didn't quite understand all that.
Oh,
There's no restrooms for this, no
Correct.
new restrooms, because the ones that are existing on site,
are
is
you
what people-
close enough in distance and sufficient?
Sufficient. The driveway. Is there like a? This is hard to see this large plan, like the whole site where the road is on the site and where this. Where this is actually, oh, here's a better. So this driveway here, this is the one that goes out to the Empire Road.
Yeah, that's the
And-
internal driveway that ends up on it.
And so that,
It's paved.
it's paved and that meets the fire code as well. I mean, if we're saying this has got to be fire code,
Gotta be a fire access road.
fire access road.
The fire access we're showing for the project applies. Now, I don't know, I mean, that road that goes to this site is, I don't know, Adam, maybe a half mile out to Empire, and that's in there.
That's a private road on,
Correct.
it's a camp road.
It's a-
Yeah, that's been there probably since at least the 30s.
I have to believe Adam, you could probably confirm that the fire department's been on that road. They know what.
Yes.
I think those were the key questions that give me about it. There's something else.
I think we talked about the sound coming from it. We were curious about levels of noise and amplification and things like that.
We won't do anything tremendous, but I mean, that piece of our property is enough in the center that I've now been at camp since 2012 and have never had a neighbor complain about noise because we don't really, the center part of the property that we use, and it's sort of surrounded by a bowl. So you don't really hear the noise carry, which is a good thing.
Anything from the platform area under the pavilion would project right into the hillside or the seating.
But there's never been an amphitheater there either.
No, but everything that we're doing in the amphitheater, we've actually always done outside, just in different spaces. So it's not like we're gonna, we're creating a new program for it. We're just taking existing programs that we've done already and putting them somewhere where we won't get rained on or we won't get the sun beating down us.
There's no lighting in this thing at all, except on the stage.
There's lighting under the platform roof, aiming down on the platform. There's lighting under the main roof. More just for general lighting for maintenance or any kind of emergency,
Well, this,
Moving
it could get dark while this is going on. I mean,
Yeah. It's just enough so that people can see that whatever's going on in the evening is finished and they can walk out of there safely. No street lights, no lights.
We won't need them, but flashlights at camp are also fun.
is there a lighting plan? I see lights on the stage. I don't see them. Looking for the symbol of the fixture. I don't see it.
Oh,
I see F's.
come over.
Yeah,
Where you pointing to?
there's something here. I see fixtures.
Oh, yeah. So this is under the roof, directed at
The stage, yeah.
and then these are actually outlets. There are,
I'm seeing.
there's bollards, little bollards here. These
That's at the perimeter.
correct, and they're about 3 foot high with a light that shines
That's
down
all
on the
light?
path. It's path light.
But that's just here.
Correct, yeah. That's just there. So that's the lighting. Actually, yeah, there's no lighting under here. It's just the lighting there and then this light.
seem to be too safe. Without some sort of lighting, I mean, there's.
Well, they carry flashlights. And no joking, that's what they do.
Yeah, I know. The flashlights aren't in the building code. Have you looked into whether it's a place of assembly? Does it require fire sprinklers? Have you
Right,
researched the code?
so, and this is a commercial application.
Have you?
We have looked at it, and he- all I can
You're
say-
hemming and hawing, so that
No,
doesn't sound good.
We've looked at it, we have done several of these under the same codes, but the same international building codes. We have never been cited for it. They do not have the water capacity to do something like that here. It's well water and leaf, right?
Yes, it's well water.
Now there's.
And
storage
and there's a
tanks.
lake. Yeah, it's a well water.
I think we have to do a little research into that. I mean, there's ways of doing sprinklers with.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, you put a storage tank in the ground. With a generator and a fire pump. It's doable. All right, any questions?
Yeah.
Where are we?
Where was that wetland boundary? Again,
There's a letter in the submission. It was, on here. Wetland determination. Lynn Buto, biologist. Connected.
What is that?
That's the wetland. And if you visited the property, there's nothing, within 100 feet of fresh water. That was part of the application.
So, but how do we live it on the plan? Where is the, 100 foot? Line up, is that on any of these plans?
The engineers here, maybe we can find it out. Can you help us?
It's on.
It's even
it's on
more.
the back.
It's not,
It's.
is it for us or?
Yeah, it was in the packet, but you're welcome. to
Oh.
It's in the original submission. It's so far away, it's not on the map. You have to do the whole property.
I thought it was right up against that 100 buffer.
No, it's far. It's further. It's towards the end of the lake.
I'm not understanding.
There, what we had indicated, there was 150 foot buffer from the lake pond. And that's showing us from there. So
On
that's-
this plan.
Yeah, well,
Because you said you're so far away from that buffer.
from the wetland that, use there, for the lake.
Yeah, I think the
I-
wetland is like by where the treehouse was.
Yeah. Right? Miller
Correct,
Pond.
yeah.
And where's that buffer line?
This one pond.
This is the-
No, it's not.
I think it's this, but I'm on the plan.
That's the
It is not
100.
something.
150 foot setback. So what is this line? Then it's a construction, so you are kind of encroaching.
Exactly.
But this is how. what's the- This is 1 equals 10 feet. I mean, construction to get vehicles through here. I mean, if you delineate this line and
Stuff comes this way. And these platforms up here, there's no snakes. We should deal with these.
and no grading. So there's grading.
There's a wooden,
There's.
yeah, there's substantial. brick.
Is the disturbance line, is it supposed, or not disturbance, the setback line is supposed to be here?
So it's.
No, it's on.
It's okay.
SD
That's
100,
100.
Okay.
7 from the back. 7 from the back.
There's some pretty good sized trees in here.
That was my next question, was that area of my favorite is down there, there's a significant amount of large trees over there, and if you look, it's considered a heritage important area for plants. Because if I'm not mistaken, the amphitheater should be in this vicinity over here, so there's nowhere ponds. Am I right in thinking that? I'm just eyeballing this, but it's an important natural community, and it may also be an important area for plants, the heritage program. So as part of seeker review, you're probably going to want to make a application to the heritage program to determine what exactly, if anything, is there. Ah, there it is. Okay. What's the big? So,
This is the.
so the limit of disturbance is in the 150.
A little bit of it was, yes, and so that
Like
would,
10 feet or so.
the roof is 1 foot away from the buffer line.
I mean, there's quite a few large trees. I should need to be removed from there.
Yeah, I think we should, but say Bruce one about the.
Perfect.
So.
This may need a variance from,
Yeah.
this may,
Otherwise,
this may need a variance from the state. The fire suppression.
Really?
Once it. Occupancy is 300. I guess I haven't checked the code, but I will. Says the actual is 491, and it just says sprinkler system not provided because water supply is unavailable at the property. I mean, you can make an application to the state, say, we're gonna give a fire alarm system and waive the sprinkler, but. I think we gotta be a little more specific before we.
But are we talking about like a theater type pavilion or an amp, something that's completely open like this? Because I mean. This
It's a
isn't,
place of assembly under a roof. There may be a gray area there. But what your cover sheet is saying to me is this requires a sprinkler system. I mean, did you see the note on the cover sheet? Okay, so I don't know if we're in agreement, but basically you gave me, the rope for the hanging.
Well, I thought that's the building department purview, but
Well, the water supply, I mean, we gotta, if you gotta bring something in, it's gotta be on the site plan. That's in the preview of the planning department, planning board.
well, there's not water on the road to bring in, so it would have to be an on-site system.
Whether it's a tank or some sort of. I mean, you fill the tank once, you don't fill it again until there's a fire, God forbid. I mean, I think something may have to be done. We may have to ask our consultant to look into it and see. So, I mean, I think my feeling is we're gonna refer this. I think we're gonna refer this to both Nan and George for their review and comment.
And who are they?
There are planning consultant. And I mean, we haven't had a lot of these. In fact, we've never had one, so I'm not quite sure.
It seems that there's some procedure that.
there's
Not quite in order.
procedure lacking, which we kind of sort of addressed at the beginning of this application. As far as I'm concerned, the maps were submitted to the zoning enforcement officer on Monday, May 22nd. At or around 1:55 PM. So I still don't have a referral from Ed.
Right, and that's where I mentioned that,
And
the breakdown, he admitted there was a breakdown,
If
he had the
he-
information.
if he looks at SB 100 though, he may refer it directly to the ZBA. He may
Not-
deny it and say, well, under these plans, you need a variance.
Okay, I mean, that's
For-
fine, but
What are you claiming the variance is for?
Because they're in the buff,
Other in the buffer.
under the plan.
Ed would have to confirm that.
So.
But he hasn't done anything with it yet, so we shouldn't even do.
Well, this is the
Sketch
planning
plan.
board is still doing the sketch
Sketch
plan
plan.
conference. So
Okay,
this planning board can recommend to the applicant or potential applicant that they consider their location and maybe move it out of the. buffer.
okay, so that is a recommendation, yeah. That would eliminate the ZBA referral.
I think we still should send it to the consultants on.
Definitely, well,
Once,
commercial,
so going back, once they revise the plans, get it to Ed. Well in advance of the planning board submission deadline, so that he can refer it to the planning board if there are no issues. And then I do have a check. That once again assumes that it's referred to the planning board for. So. I'm sure. That the process is done correctly, right, by planning boards looking and doing the sketches. And tell the applicant that. Once it's board. I will collect the commercial site plan escrow. And then it will be referred as part of the planning. It's procedurally, it has to get to the planning.
So am I understanding right that it would be, once it gets referred, that then the check and then the referral to those other two people would happen concurrently? Just to keep it moving and not to have to come back in July to then have it get referred out again?
I could, based on this, and assuming that it is a commercial site plan review. That has an inspection escrow in the zoning law, so I don't need an action from the planning board. So once I get the referral, I could collect the escrow directly.
I
But
think
could you also then send the plans out to do whatever needs to be done? So we were trying to, I'm only just, I know it's a long way away, but my goal is to be ready for children in 2024. So just trying to figure out how to respect your process and also move through as quickly as we possibly can.
Is it possible that I'm not sure if we're allowed to send it to Nan or that review that Ed needs to do also?
Could also send it to Nan and George.
Can this board make that recommendation to Ed that we suggest it go first to the consultants? So we know what the proper review is. So everybody in the building department knows what the proper review is.
Somebody want to make a motion?
So
We'll do it.
can I ask a couple quick questions? All right, so a couple things. So, what you were just talking about name, but we're just.
Aaron.
Is obviously the drawings modified to get out. So that we're not approaching into anything.
It seems like an easy one.
Yeah, and that's an easy thing to do. I'm assuming. But we'll do what we need to do. Second thing you had mentioned, all right, so well in advance of, what does that mean? I mean, we submitted, yes, we understood that they did have to be in. So when you say well in advance of the next submission
Do
date,
you have
what does that?
Ed's business card?
I don't have his business, we have his contact, well, we have what's on the website.
All his all his contact information is on the website, including the cell phone number.
Limited,
So
this hour.
basically, tomorrow morning, I would recommend that you call up Ed and you say. Oops, we're gonna get you some updated maps. And then you get Ed updated maps as soon as possible. I don't know how long it'll take him to review this application. I would, suggest if I were giving him some insight, I would say, Ed, you should, have the consultants take a look at this so that you make sure that you get the referral for Ed.
I can't.
I'm saying if I were having a conversation with Ed, I would make that recommendation.
I can't.
All right, but I do think
But
that
we can.
we will. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take it out of his hands if we give it. to
I
him.
heard that it would be good to do that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I can't tell him to do it.
Aaron said. Blame it on me. He's always mad at me anyway.
That'll go just as well.
Fine.
So we will.
We should make,
So who does that? Joe.
We do, we'll make a motion.
Okay, and then it goes,
So
Through-
I will do like, basically one paragraph boilerplate letter.
Yeah.
Joe, can you come in tomorrow and sign that?
Sure.
Okay.
It's Friday, right?
all right, so we're making a motion to write a letter to Ed suggesting that, this board recommends that this application go to Nan and George for their review
after the update.
as soon as possible.
Plan is
As-
given.
After the update.
Yeah. That way we'll reinforce that. And it can be all done at the same.
Yes,
And if that doesn't happen, but if it does in fact get referred to the planning board or commercial site plan review, I will contact someone, one of the members of your team, ask you about the check that I have currently in my office, which would cover the application fee, as well as the commercial site plan review inspection escrow, which the zoning law authorizes.
That's all on the screen. He just heard it and he's, it keeps us moving. He's gonna say.
So it's, things will, continue to move.
So when you say the commercial, that's what you're referring to the long form?
The reason that the long form is likely required is because it's a camp, and in, I believe, 2021? Or
we wrote the new
either
local
at
law.
the end of 2021 or the beginning of 2022, the town of Akron actually enacted a list in the form of a law of actions that, for projects that would be type 1.
That in the zone?
It's actually it is on the website and I can tell you what. It was actually 10, but it's October of 2021. I'll give you the exact name so you can grab it right off the website. It might be on Eco 360. If it's not. Computers a little slow. So it is local law number 3. Of 2020.
And that's getting the importance.
What's this, but your longest bench, what's your occupancy on your longest bench? Seating?
There's a chart there, isn't there?
There's a chart somewhere.
No, it doesn't say people, because my recollection is there's something in the code about being so many seats from an aisle. I think it's 7. I think you're okay, but I was just curious. Yeah, that's what that's what it is. I don't, but I'm going by memory. Looks like somebody paid attention to it because 13 is about 22 feet long, so at 2 foot a person. I wouldn't be over 14. Just curious.
Do you think it's premature to ask about a site visit?
No.
We can
Start to work to set it up.
Sure,
Wherever.
happy to.
It's
Someone on the planning board last time said they'd seen all of Ankrum but where camp is, so we're always happy to show camp.
When does camp start?
Camp starts on the 25th. I'll be up there pretty permanently in about 12 days or 10 days. So, you know, would be happy.
Is that a photo behind you or is that really
That's-
the scene?
No, I mean, that is the scenery of camp, but it is a photo also.
So that's the camp, not where you are.
That's Miller Pond. The pond that we're talking about is the camp. It's behind me. And the inflatables will be up on Monday.
Nice.
There's another
Okay.
policy.
right.
So going back to the commercial, so is that, there was a early discussion about, you were questioning, this is a project out of a new camp. Is that where the,
That's what my interpretation was of that list. And because if you look at the definition, it says camp and because it's just a list. But if you go to the zoning law and look up the definition of camp, it's the whole camp.
the whole?
It's all the parts.
And I think that the consultant would give us that
It was a
interpretation.
camp, yeah, you go through a whole planning review process and all that.
Yeah. That's certainly, and I think that was the intention of the
Sure.
the zoning revisions
Yeah.
to look at it, anything that was gonna be, you know, disturbing, 20 acres or something like that.
That's huge.
Yeah. That's my interpretation.
Sure.
So,
So Nan.
Nan would-
I'm all with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Nan will take a look at it and she'll give us a list.
So
So-
JL, for a site visit, do you wanna or just coordinate with folks and then coordinate with me?
If you want to give me that's for you, that would help me. But
I'm sorry, I'm having a little audio trouble.
if you want to give me dates that work best for you, that would help me in pulling the planning board. But if you want planning board to approach you, I can propose dates based on their general availability.
Yeah, I could send you dates, but pretty much, I mean, in 10 days, I'll be there permanently, except for my daughter's high school graduation on the 16th, so. And, you know, we don't want to do it the first day of camp on the 25th, but I can send you a whole bunch of dates.
Okay, send me dates and we'll schedule that.
Terrific.
One last question. So assuming we get all this together, everything goes and stars line up and all that stuff, what is the purpose of the next meeting? Or is there?
that's what our.
To be determined.
That will be, yeah.
need To advise us on,
It wouldn't be another sketch.
Hopefully we'll be moving in site plan review, but we gotta see what the comments are. I mean, they're the code experts and they're gonna advise us if we're missing anything.
hopefully by the next meeting that you appear on the agenda, there will be a referral and there will start to be some type of comment.
What's that, these are good, there's, and are there ways to preserve these? Okay, and that, yeah, feeling, having.
Well,
these
Paul,
amphitheaters. I see,
Had the room.
you can't do a big opening for a tree or something.
it would probably not, because of the grading and
Yeah.
everything else that has to happen around it. And the whole hills, I mean, you see that picture is all around the lake.
Right, I know.
So anywhere we go, that question is, I'm not sure how to address
What kind of trees are there?
it. In the area,
It looks like
you look at it
It's
before, there's a
mostly
survey.
pine.
Yeah, it looks like
everywhere.
There's a heat limit.
I haven't been there, but I was.
There's a
was on the
survey.
map.
So it-
From the picture, it looks like evergreens.
And, you know, a lot of it's pretty small, not very few are over 12, 13 inches.
So our CAC should be invited to review this and do site walk too, especially since it's commercial.
And you're aware there is a major fen on the property. You know how it relates to this thing.
I haven't looked at.
Have you looked at? the-
It's on our significant,
If, you know what, I've gotta look at the physical actual
Yeah.
map, because I know we have fence highlighted on there.
Yeah.
there's a big one out in the hallway.
Yeah, right.
But it was a very long time ago that I was there and I know.
We should definitely have the map with us while we're there, just to verify that.
Yeah. So I think there is bog turtle habitat. That's why it's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of the things that definitely needs.
You
to
think
be-
there's what? I couldn't hear.
An endangered species, the bog turtle, you have not, you have a fen on your property that supports that turtle. You would never have seen it. They're very shy and small, and it's not something, you know, even experienced biologists have been searching for them for years, rarely see them, but they're.
That's cool. Where are they? I've never even heard of that. I mean, we have,
If I go, I'd like to show you, because it's an extraordinary fen. I was there like 20 years ago.
what part of the property is the fence in?
It's open wetland. I think it's west of your pond, but I'm not really certain. I gotta go back. It's been 20 years.
Oh, so okay, yeah, not near where we are, but
Some of
okay.
these are on a map. Like if you look up the biodiversity map for Hudson, for Ankrum,
The
the
significant
significant habitat
habitat.
map, you'll see that on there. Because it's
Okay.
big enough that we did map it.
And any other,
It's a good thing for kids to learn about too.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm interested, because it's all,
Yeah, me too.
I mean, that's the
So
whole
that's-
point, is to bring everyone into nature.
I'm with you on that. Yep.
we need to have those things on the plan too, all the natural resources.
I'm on the CAC.
Called
That's
out.
why I'm, bringing this up.
That part of the checklist for the full.
It is on the site plan for commercial site plan review, all the natural resources on the site
I just
should
like
be.
referred. All right,
Okay, thank you. We'll see you on the. Hopefully
Thank you
next
very
month.
much.
You're welcome. Okay. We gotta do minutes. We're not done yet. Don't shut us off. Well, the screen went dead.
One thing before this.
Do you want to-
I met West in cities. I met West. I'm a little disappointed.
The amphitheater. So the app actually, no. it's amphitheater.
Okay.
What I'm looking at is this piece.
Yeah.
Because here's the pond.
Yeah.
Okay, right there. Yeah. I think that's where. Just looking at the topography.
Yeah. Is it quite distant from this proposed?
Those should be noted though, I think. It should be
Because
because
it's not like. Last row.
Can I get a statement that the McNally learned? application is a phase two action, not this one.
I will make a statement that the McNally Learner application is type 2. Is a type 2 action and not required seeker.
Why do we have to do a statement?
Because it's actually, well, because we have this switch now, because remember before they had a greater disturbance. Right.
Oh, but
But
that
now-
can make it a type 1.
No,
Based on one, George
but
did tonight, and I will have to follow.
We got to find out the procedure whether we can request the seeker. Because of our determination,
Right.
it doesn't change the type action.
right, does it, right, we need to know that,
Yeah.
what the,
Yeah, George is under the opinion that the whip requirement may cause an action to rise from a type 2 action to an unlisted
Unlisted.
action.
yeah.
So just for the board's edification, I, on all applications, anytime an applicant comes to me, I give them a short EAF. Unless I, just because even though, when it is a type 2 action, they wouldn't be required to fill it out, it does aid you guys. And it's also something that demonstrates that the firm is taking. So it does help. But some people kind of say, oh, well, it's not required.
So on Morel, did we vote that we would be lead agency?
That was not done. And that needs clarification. And I will reach out to Nan, George, you and Tom about that.
About what the procedure is when in SWIFT's trigger a seeker review.
When an abbreviated site plan review requires a SWIFT, does that change what the classification is? The type of that. Type two around it.
And, yeah, okay.
Minutes.
Minutes,
The minutes that I printed out for everyone are the minutes with Collins edits.
Okay, I saw, I thought they looked good.
I had no problem with April. Can we get a motion for April?
Can I ask you both of minutes?
I just,
Okay. Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
are they?
Kurt,
What was your question,
You
Joe?
can tell it was a different voice.
My question,
Like,
I think you gotta attach the resolutions to the minutes,
Yeah,
because that should be part of the record for the O and G. Both of the,
yeah.
It should be
I have
attached.
I have to do that manually because, when I do it through Word, I only get like the first page.
oh yeah, and there was a typo. There was
So,
one typo. I
I-
saw.
Get a motion for the April minute.
I moved, so moved. Second.
All in favor?
So those
Aye.
are with Colleen's edit,
Yes.
and then for the May. And
I saw one typo on one of
I
them.
sent a May.
yeah,
Edit.
I printed the May.
Yeah,
edits.
I saw that too.
Okay.
So the typo?
I know, I saw Colleen's. Edit.
The ones that I printed out and gave to everyone prior to the meeting are Colleen's edit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw something that.
Was that the one with the question marks where it? And I think Nan, you, or, Nan. I'm sorry, I'm just exhausted.
We're all tired, yeah.
I'm just exhausted.
9 o'clock.
I was like, I think Ann noticed it too, was.
Yeah, it was,
Like a
One
trail
word.
of sentence,
Right,
there was a thought.
yeah.
But I think we both probably picked it up, so.
Did you change that?
I think I just said I'm not sure.
and I said, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what the word was supposed to be.
Yeah, let me see if I can tell you.
Was it the
exactly
last
where
word
it
of the line?
Sorry, I'll be honest.
Hmm.
Hmm,
This entity-
I'm not dreaming. It's more, it's so
It's over in,
Okay.
Stockbridge. Does anybody know the name of that thing?
Aaron Robertson requested the applicant show the grading on the photos.
It's. He doesn't know. It's size.
Colleen Lutz stated that it was going into the soil. Is that the,
I put comments in, and I think I reworded that.
You talking about the April one or the other one?
I don't remember.
The May one.
I'm talking about the May.
The May,
Right.
we already approved this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just,
Let me look
Not-
at your May one, because I didn't get.
Because the May one, I have
Maybe it's
comments
the
in
May
there, and I think I reworded that statement. That I said it was going into the soil, I just said if it's failing, it would go.
specifically the last word of the line.
Yes, I know exactly what.
Well, here, Colleen Lutz stated that it was going into the soil.
is
Yeah, but see, there's a comment, see, I put over here, I think this should read, Colleen, let's say that if it was failing. The sewage might be going into the soil.
Okay, so that's
is
on
that the one
RSG.
that,
It's on RSG, the last
Or
sentence of that page.
But I know. Ian and I picked this up. Yeah, it was on, and I've got to find, I'll find it.
There are 3 pages, right? This is.
Are you still?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we are.
Sorry.
One,
I
look at
this
that
is-
map.
This is May.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's my April.
It was April.
Yeah, I just scanned. them.
Yeah, I didn't, I got.
You already approved it.
Have a chance to look. The first one was definitely May.
I'll find it. I'm pulling up.
It's like on the,
Like the first page, is it the first or second page?
I think it's the second.
I'll pull it up. I'll give you the exact line. Hold on.
Have a 5 more minutes.
Okay, here it is. So,
the camp opens on?
yes, that,
25th,
yeah.
and
What'd you
There's a
find?
thought there.
Okay.
A part of the facility.
okay, so can I get a motion to amend the approved April minutes?
Let's just change it.
I'll give you that motion.
Okay,
Second,
Let's.
I can't second.
Yeah.
to correct that mistake.
Yes. Adjourn.
No, no.
So approve the minutes.
We have to do the
May,
mega
yeah.
minutes too.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve.
with
To
Colleen.
approve with Colleen with edits.
So can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Sure.
Second. Everybody, aye.
Aye.
Tired. Oh,